San Francisco just wrapped up their second padded training camp practice, and while initially it seemed like the offense rebounded, Purdy ended the day throwing 4 interceptions on his final 5 passes. So in this video, I want to break down the performances not just of Purdy, but this entire team to really see how they performed. Starting out on San Francisco's offensive side of the ball, yesterday their offensive line was abysmal. Today though, they fared much better, and while they did give up a couple of pressures and maybe a sack or two, it was a noticeable improvement from their first day. Specifically, Colt McKivitz held up extremely nicely on Nick Bosa. I know Colt McKivitz did struggle a little bit during his first year starting, but if he is able to improve heading into this second year, it will be good not just for him, but this entire offense. Meanwhile, San Francisco's right guard they selected out of Kansas, Dominic Puni, continues to start at that right guard position with both John Feliciano and Spencer Burford out. On one-on-ones, he beat both Jordan Elliott and T.Y. McGill, and during the team portions of practice, he excels both in his pass and run blocking. So if I were to bet, I would think he would be starting week 1 for San Francisco, or at least sometime this year. He's just so good for a rookie. And right now, he's winning that competition by default with Feliciano and Burford both out. Moving over to the center, Jake Brindle returned to practice today after having Monday off, and he looks solid there. Meanwhile, San Francisco's starting left guard, Aaron Banks, continues to struggle against Javon Hargrave. Today on one-on-ones, Hargrave won both of his reps, bull rushing him both times. Meanwhile, San Francisco's left tackle continues to be Jalen Moore as Trent Williams holds out. But today, he did have a few nice reps on one-on-one against Leonard Floyd. Trent Williams is just so much better than him though, Brock Purdy has to be hoping they get that worked out. Speaking about Brock Purdy, moving over to the quarterback position now, we're going to examine how each one of these guys performed today. Purdy starting out the day looked extremely sharp. He completed his first 7 passes and they included 2 nice touchdown passes, one to Deebo Samuel and one to Christian McCaffrey. On the pass to Deebo Samuel, Isaac Yiadom was in coverage. Deebo Samuel was running a slant go route, and as soon as Deebo Samuel was coming out of his slant route, Purdy pump faked, which got Yiadom to bite on the route, giving Deebo Samuel a ton of separation. Purdy then connected on a nice throw and deep ball that would have resulted in a touchdown. Purdy then followed that up with another connection to Deebo Samuel and then Kittle. After this though, he had his best throw arguably of the entire day. With Purdy rolling out to the left, he was able to put it right in the basket of Christian McCaffrey over the outstretched hands of Devondre Campbell, and this would have once again resulted in a touchdown for the offense. But unfortunately for Purdy, after this, his day kinda unraveled as he threw 4 interceptions on his final 5 attempts. Purdy threw interceptions to Deommodore Lenoir, George Odom, Flanagan Fowles, and Jair Brown. On the interception to Brown, Purdy was off target when he was attempting to throw to Deebo Samuel after being pressured and possibly sacked by Leonard Floyd. On Purdy's interception to Demetrius Flanagan Fowles, it really seemed like he just didn't see him and threw it directly to him. Meanwhile, the interception to Deommodore Lenoir tried to see Purdy find Deebo Samuel late in the route, which allowed Lenoir to read it the entire way and probably get a pick 6. The one interception not on Purdy today though was when he was targeting Juwan Jennings on the sideline but went through his hands, allowing Odom to intercept it. Purdy almost got intercepted one more time with Chris Conley coming across the middle on a drag route. Fred Warner was trying to bait him into it and nearly got the pick. A couple of these interceptions were on throws that were pretty late in the route, so I think Purdy might have been trying to get overly aggressive in practice as these stats don't really matter. And he said in the past, this is an opportunity for him to realize what he can get away with in the game and probably can't. This isn't saying he had a great day, but it is putting things in context, and he had days like this last year and went on to have a record-setting season. Outside of Purdy, Joshua Dobbs was also a little bit shaky on the day. He finished it by trying to find Tariq Owens on a deep route, but ended up getting intercepted by Ambry Thomas. Allen might have had a better day. He found Tariq Owens on a deep touchdown, but he also left Ricky Pearsall a little bit out to dry on a pass over the middle that was off target. Outside of both of these established vets, Tanner Mordecai the rookie finally got reps on 11-on-11s today, and he was solid. First, he found Juwan Jennings on an out-type route, and then it came back to hit Ricky Pearsall right in his hands over the middle, but Pearsall did drop it. Going forward, I would like to see Mordecai receive more reps as he offers more upside than both of these quarterbacks, and he's also cheaper. Moving off San Francisco's quarterbacks and into their tight ends, George Kittle got involved today and looks pretty explosive after losing 30 pounds of muscle this offseason. Meanwhile, San Francisco's second-year tight end Cameron Latu has stacked a couple of nice days. Today he caught another pass in team portion of drills, and he looks like one of San Francisco's bigger and stronger tight ends. Latu has all the physical tools you want out of a tight end, but he needs to prove he can remain calm under pressure and also remain healthy. Right now, I still do have him behind guys like Eric Sauber and Braden Willis, but it is nice to see production finally coming out of the second-year player. As far as San Francisco's wide receivers went, Brandon Ayuk continues his hold-in, Jacob Cowling was out with a hamstring, as well as Tay Martin. Deebo Samuel, meanwhile, struggled in one-on-ones versus Lenore, but went off on team portions where he had that deep touchdown I was mentioning. This offseason, he looks like he's in fantastic shape, and if San Francisco is able to work out the contract with Ayuk, they should have two deadly weapons. Outside of Deebo Samuel, Ricky Pearsall participated in team drills for the first time of the padded portion of this camp. He had a nice catch over the middle from Brandon Allen, but he also dropped a pass from Mordecai. Overall, Pearsall does look like a solid rookie for San Francisco, especially when you throw in the fact he's returning punts and looks fluid there. But the best rookie wide receiver on the field today wasn't Ricky Pearsall, but rather the undrafted free agent Tariq Owens. On one-on-ones, for instance, first he cooked Ambry Thomas with a deep touchdown. Then he did the same to Rock Ya-Sin on 11-on-11s with a deep pass from Brandon Allen. Owens only ran his 40-yard dash in 4.51 seconds, but he really knows how to challenge the defense vertically, and he might be a nice developmental piece for San Francisco long term. Another undrafted free agent rookie who impressed was running back Cody Schrader. Throughout this entire camp, he's looked like one of the most decisive backs on San Francisco's roster, and he's a good enough player to make someone's 53-man roster. Meanwhile, Christian McCaffrey had a would-be touchdown on the pass from Brock Purdy over Devondre Campbell. Moving off San Francisco's offense and into their defense, specifically their corners, Lenore might have been the best player on the field today. Throughout the day, he won all of his one-on-one battles and also registered an interception, and then on team portions, he had that interception on Purdy I was mentioning earlier, where he stepped in front of Deebo Samuel late on in the route. And this would have seen Lenore run it all the way back for a pick six. He's one of San Francisco's more underappreciated players in my opinion. Meanwhile, Ambry Thomas had a pretty mixed day. First, he was cooked by Owens for a touchdown, but he did come back with a nice interception on Dobbs on the team portion of drills. Outside of Thomas, Isaac Yiadom probably had his worst day at camp, who was beat on that route that I was talking about earlier, where Brock Purdy pump faked on the slant go, he jumped on the slant, and then Deebo Samuel went over the top. I do think it requires a little bit of perspective though, because Yiadom is still a good corner. He shut down almost everyone throughout this entire camp, so a couple of bad plays I don't think make him a bad player. Moving on to San Francisco safeties, Jair Brown had another interception today when Purdy was trying to target Deebo Samuel. Meanwhile, George Odom also had an interception on Purdy when Juwan Jennings wasn't able to come down with it on the sideline. The veteran has really done a good job of responding after Malik Mustafa looked dominant on the early stages of this camp, and he's continued to look pretty solid in my opinion. But San Francisco's safeties weren't the only ones to excel today. Their linebackers also came away with an interception and nearly two. Demetrius Flanagan-Fouts, for instance, came away with one once Purdy just hit him right in the hands. But Fred Warner also nearly baited Purdy into one when Chris Conley was coming across the middle on a drag-type pattern. Warner read it the entire way and jumped on the route. Throughout the day, San Francisco's defensive line was a lot quieter than yesterday, but they still put pressure on Purdy, including a maybe would-be sack from Leonard Floyd. And Hargrave continues to dominate Aaron Banks, whether it be on one-on-ones or team portions. On one-on-ones today, he got him twice with the bull rush. Hargrave looks in better shape this year with San Francisco and a lot more comfortable with their scheme, so he might have a breakout year. Finally, I haven't really spoke about San Francisco's special teams, specifically their kicker Jake Moody. Throughout this entire offseason, he's been extremely accurate, only missing one kick. And today he showed off his massive leg, hitting it from 55. But impressive as he's been this offseason, I want to see him carry it over to the regular season. In high pressure situations, it does seem like he shrinks a little bit. But these are just my thoughts about San Francisco's second padded training camp practice. And I want to hear your thoughts down below and who you're excited to see going into this preseason period. It would also mean a ton to me if you could like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.